So we are coming at you again from our kitchen, from the high chair. It's been TJ's favorite spot for the past few days because he gets to do his little coloring here. I am yet to set him free with his colors. As much as they say that they are magic colors and only work on his paper. Okay, Baba? I'm not ready to test it out, letting him run loose with them. So at least here I feel like it's a more controlled environment. Also, very handy. Right, so I was talking about breastfeeding this week. And I happened to mention on my Instagram that TJ has basically stopped his night feeds. He's weaned himself off the night feeds. And I've got so many people asking about, how did you do it? What process did you use? So that I'd make a video just explaining what we did, basically. A video? Yes, Baba. What color is that? It's red. Oh, red. I'm going to paint the little wolf's nose red. Right. So basically what happened was this. I've mentioned before, I co-sleep with TJ. I still co-sleep with him. And it was just always easier for me in terms of feeding him at night because he would dream feed. So I didn't have to wake up and have to go to his crib to sort of like feed him every time he woke up. He basically just rolled over, and half the time he just, get the poop out himself and feed. And it just meant that I could just lie there. I didn't, I felt like I got so much more rest by doing that. And we both got to sleep better. And so for me, it just was a no-brainer. It got him back to sleep really fast because obviously it's soothing. So it worked for us for the longest time. But then for the past maybe 2 months or so, including this month, I realized that basically he wasn't really feeding at night. He would be on my breast or like on the nipple. He'd just be sort of sucking on the nipple and just going. Basically what kids do. What's up, Papa? Let me hold it for you. Don't throw them down. I know that hand. You want a different one. Basically what kids do when they have like a soothe or a pacifier or a dummy. TJ never used a dummy or a pacifier. He used my boob basically. So I could see him going, I could feel it on my nipple and I was like, he's not feeding. He's just doing it for the comfort. So I thought, what, how about giving him a different kind of comfort? Maybe that will work. Who knows? But like a lot of things, it's just trial and error. So I think it was the 13th of March because I've marked it on my calendar. It was a very, mind-blowing night, I would say. So on that night, basically when he did his first wake up, because I usually feed him to sleep. So when I put him down, it's around 8:30. And then he often wakes up or starts at around sometimes maybe 10, 11. However, of late, it's been far. It's been like 1 a.m. So he's sleeping for a bit longer before he actually wakes up. Uh-oh. It went down, Baba. It went down, yes. So I would basically, when he did the first star and he woke up, rather than put him on the boob, I just sort of held him up. And I kind of like, just swayed him a little bit. And he didn't even try to go for the boob. He just stayed there. And in like a minute, I'm not even kidding, it's literally a minute, he was off, he just slept off. So I popped him back down and he slept again for a bit, maybe an hour, and then he stirred again and he was like, I think the difference is also not fully waking up. He's just kind of like going, like sort of, I can tell he's waking up because he's moving. He's sort of stirring. So I just picked him up again and it went down. Yeah, they're all going down. And so I just put him back down. And for the first night, he basically he basically went through the night and up until around 4. And at 4 a.m. I literally gave him the boob because for one, you only have one left in here because for one, I was knackered. The waking up was tiring because I'm having to wake up and kind of like hold him. It's just for a minute, but when you keep waking up, especially for you who's grown, it's hard to sort of sleep again. So you kind of like just stay semi-awake, and then by the time you're trying to drift off, then he wakes up again. So it wasn't easy. That's also gone, Baba. What are you gonna color with? It's gone down. Uh-oh. they're all gone down. Yeah, so I tried to, they've gone down. Do you want me to pick them up for you? Do you want me to pick them up for you? Are you okay? So it really helped that it's all gone, Papa, there's no more. There you are. It helped that that I wasn't, what was I? I'd already gone back to work, yeah, but I started on a Friday, so it helped that it was over a weekend when I started. So it meant that, and I was also off work obviously on Monday, so it meant that I had a few days to test it out, where I didn't feel like I had to, you know, wake up in the morning and be alert with work. So yeah, and basically I gave him at 4 because my boobs felt full. He'd not fed since 8 o'clock, so it felt like, you know, I needed to give him something, plus I was knackered. So I gave him a boob, and he just, it does the work really. He just slept off for at least 3-4 hours before he woke up again, and by then it was morning. And then the next night we did the same thing, but then again I had to feed him again at around 4 or 5 a.m. and every night I kept extending the time that I gave him a feed, because he was also waking up a lot less. He's still waking up now. He'll wake up maybe 3-4 times in the night, and by wake up I mean the starring, where you feel like, oh, he might wake up, or he's still doing it, but every night I've just been able to hold him and then put him back down. And he's been going for longer hours, and I've kind of like now noticed what times he's sleeping for longer and what time he kind of like wakes up. Early morning around 3ish is when he's most sort of like awake-ish. He'll wake up a bit more between 3 and maybe 5, and then at 5 o'clock then he'll sleep off again. Gonna have some milk, or are you gonna drop it as well? So it's just sort of like, yeah, it's just sort of worked out that way. And I always say, I told my husband that if he wakes up and he goes for the breast, wow, TJ, if he wakes up and goes for the breast, you're really great at dropping, aren't you, Papa? Got very strong arms. Strong arms. Strong arms. Strong arms. Like a dinosaur. I always told him that if he woke up in the night and he wanted to feed, he went for my boob, I'm not going to reject or deny him that. But he hasn't done it. He hasn't even once. And that made me think, TJ, that made me think, okay, let me get them up for you. Are you going to put the caps on? And it made me think, you know what, he's probably been ready for it, you know, until now I've seen the signs that he's ready to, to stop. So, you know, it's just following his cues, and that's been it for the past 3 weeks. He just hasn't fed at night, so we have dropped our feeds basically, like we have dropped those pens during the day, because we're mostly active and out of the house. It means doesn't really ask for boob at all. If you're home all day and he comes to me for a poop, then I'll just give it to him. But basically it's for nap time, for bedtime, and in the morning. Once he wakes up in the morning, usually around 6:37, TJ, then he has a feed. But otherwise, boing, boing. Otherwise, he rarely goes for one. TJ, let's not do that. No banging your head. No banging your head. He doesn't really go for it. And yeah, that's basically how we've ended up night weaning. Who knew? But it's great. You know, my body is still so programmed to waking up in the middle of the night that now that he's actually sleeping for longer hours as well before he wakes up, I still wake up at like 3 in the morning and I'm sat there thinking, right, this boy is asleep. Why am I awake? But yeah, it's still we're still on that journey where we're learning. And hopefully, we'll get to wherever we need to get to. But the most important thing is just following his cues. Right, Papa, are you going to say bye-bye? Bye-bye.